So in the last unit, we looked at interior angles of triangles. So we saw that the interior angle sum, if you remember triangles, what do triangles add up to? 180. Yeah, okay. So now we're going to look at the interior angles for different polygons. Okay, not just triangles. So let's go ahead and draw any convex quadrilateral and label the vertices A through D. So let's do like a rectangle or something. And label it A through D. A, B, C, D. Okay. Does that look good? Now it says split your quadrilateral into two triangles by connecting the vertices. So I'll go ahead and connect B with D. Would you agree that we have two triangles? Okay. Can I make more triangles without overlapping? Without overlapping. Or without crossing? Does that overlap? Yeah, so we can't do that. So what's the most amount that I'm able to split without overlapping? 2. Well, but how many triangles am I able to make? 2. Okay. So this is where the magic happens. That's a triangle. That's a triangle. Each one of these are 180 degrees. So how many total degrees do you think are in this quadrilateral? Because it's 180 plus 180 for a total of 360 degrees. Yeah, that's pretty good. Next, draw any convex pentagon. Pentagon, so it just means 5 sides, right? So let's do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And label it A to E. A, B, C, D, E. And now split it into triangles by connecting the vertices. Don't let the diagonals overlap. So how many triangles can I split this into? 3. Here and here. 1, 2, 3. There's no overlap. Plus. Okay. So we're able to make 3 triangles. How many degrees are in a pentagon? Well, how many triangles do we have? 3. So it would be 180 how many times? 3 times. For a total of 540. 540. Okay. So then the next question is, how do the number of triangles formed relate to the number of sides? So what I mean by this, when we had 4 sides, how many triangles were we able to make? 2 triangles. When we had 5 sides, how many triangles were we able to make? 3 triangles. Does it seem like there's a pattern? If there was 6 sides, how many triangles do you think we would make? 4. Okay. So it seems like there are 2 less triangles than the number of sides. So 2 less triangles than the number of sides. Okay. Cool. Perfect. I love that. can we find a formula to find the sum of the interior angles of any polygon? So we know that we came up with 180, 360, 540. We figured that out. Now, what are we actually multiplying by? Notice here it says times 1. What do you think we'd be timesing by right here and right here? 2 and 3? Now the question is, what do those 2 and 3's represent? Number of triangles. Right there, right there, right there. The number of triangles. So n, if we just had n sides, what are we going to be multiplying by down here? Let's skip this for a second. Let's focus here on this one. If I knew we had 12 sides, what am I going to have here? How do you know that? 12 minus 2 is 10, so that's going to be 10. So this is n minus 2. Yeah, I love that. I think that's great. N minus 2. Cool. So that leads us to say that the sum of the measures of n interior angles of an n-gon is 180 times n minus 2. That's the formula. We just do 180 times n minus 2. Where n, this is the number of sides. Okay, any questions? Hopefully this seems pretty straightforward so far. Okay, let's move on. Oh, wait. Do we know what the number is here? 1,800? Yeah, 1,800. Now this says find the interior angle sum of the following polygon. So let's try this out. How many sides do we have here? 5 sides. So this means n is equal to 5. So following our formula, 180 times n minus 2 is 180. 5 minus 2, which is 180 times 3, which is 540. Awesome. That's great. Class, I want you to try B. All right, let's see what we got. Well, how many sides do we have here? 9 sides? Are you sure? I'm going to fact check you. 1, 2, 3, 4. Never mind. It's 9. 9 sides. So we got 180. 9 minus 2, which is 180, times 7, which is 1,260. There we go. That's the total. And now, some students first period asked me, Mr. Reyes, like, what is that number? Like, what is 1,260? What does that actually mean? If you were to get a protractor and you were to measure all of these angles, all of them there, and you were to add them all up, that's the number you would get. Is 1,260. So that's what it is. So the more sides you have, the more angles you have, so the bigger that measure is going to be. Because if you only have 3 sides, that's a triangle, all you're adding is 1, 2, 3. So the most you'll get is 180 out of that. So let's keep going. Now, what does it mean for a polygon to be regular? Do you remember that statement? We've talked about this before. What does it mean for a polygon to be regular? So I'm going to write this: equal blank and equal blank. Go ahead, Caden. Equal sides and equal angles. Love that. So, if we knew that all the angles are equal, and we knew the sum of the interior angles of any angon, could we find the measure of one interior angle? So what I mean by that, let's say I had a triangle, and I knew these were all the same. Okay, let's just say I knew all those are the same. And I know that a triangle is 180 degrees. Would I be able to figure out what that equals? Miley, how? I'm sure, I know you know the right answer. Just how? You don't have to tell me the answer, just how would you do it? I know the total is how much? And how many angles are there? That's it. So we just do 180 divided by 3, and that gives me 60. I could do this with a four-sided shape. If these were all the same, well, a four-sided shape, how many degrees are there? It's okay if we say we're not sure. Not sure. So, I know that it's going to be 180, 4 minus 2, which is 180 times 2, which is 360. So what would I do with that 360? Divide it by 4, which gives me 90. Well, doesn't it make sense? This is a square. What do we know about all the angles of a square? They're all 90, right? So let's try it one more time with a five-sided shape. Let's say we knew that all of these are the same. First, do I know how to find the total degree of that? I do. It's 180, 5 minus 2, because there's 5 sides minus 2. Now, what do I do with that total? Because this is going to give me the total angles. What would I divide by? 5. And that would give me, I think it's like 108 or something like that. What if I had n sides? So I'm not going to draw it because it's just, what if I had any number of sides, n sides? What would this turn into? Samuel, say it nice and loud, buddy.
180 times n minus 2 divided by n.
What do you think? That's exactly it right there. So that top part is giving us the total. The bottom part is distributing that total between all of the angles. So we can find the measure of each interior angle, so just one interior angle of an equiangular angon by using the formula 180 n minus 2 over n. Sorry, over n. I said n, I said 2, I don't know why. So let's try it for the last two examples and then we're all done. So find the measure of one interior angle of each regular polygon. Let's see, one interior angle of each regular polygon. So this one, we have 7 sides. So how would I set this up? So you're going to get a fraction here, or a decimal, and that's okay. It's okay to get decimal. So how would this look in your calculator? You do 180 times, so what is 7 minus 2? 5, right? Times 5. and that gives you 900, divided by 7, and we get 128.57. And that's it. And let's try this last one. How many sides do we have here? 6. Okay, take like a minute or so. Try that out. Let's see how you do. So we got 6 sides, so we're going to do 180. 6 minus 2 over 6, which is 180 times 4 over 6. And what do you get? 120? Let's see. 120. Yep. That's it. All done. So, as always, the homework is sometimes like, I don't know why, I hate this textbook so much. But I feel like the homework is more difficult than it needs to be. And it's very frustrating. So I'm going to do a couple of the homework problems with you, just to kind of get the ball rolling and see how you do. So let's take a look at this. So right here. So this one you should be fine with because it's just like, given that number of sides, can you find the total? So like, for example, this one, if you had 7 sides, it'd just be 187 minus 2. Whatever that number is. We just put it right there. That it wants the it wants the total. The next part, and actually let me look in your notes really quick. This is basically like example 1. Now this next one is like example 2, but it's got a bunch of them. So like if you had this here, it's the 180, 9 minus 2, but this is the one where you want to divide by, like divide it evenly into all the angles. So this one would be then divided by 9. Obviously you need to get an actual number and write it in there, but this is what it's going to look like. Any questions there? Okay. Let's just see what that is, just out of curiosity. $140. So that would be 140 that you'd put right there. These ones are easier than they seem. Let's look at number 4. First off, looking at this shape here, what do we notice about this shape? Just this. How many sides? 6 sides. So that means we got 180, 6 minus 2, which is 180 times 4, which is 720. Right? Okay. So it's 720. Now I know of that 720, that is 110. This is 116. Do we know what this piece is? But can we find it? How? Yes, 180 minus 68. So that's 112. Can we find this piece? Yes, that's 110. So we know all those. So could we then find these pieces? How? So notice something with the markings. What do you notice about those markings? They're congruent. So if we know that the whole thing is supposed to be 720, but we subtract off what we know, so I know 116, I know 110, I know 112, I know 110 again, what I'm left with in all of this, let me see, that would be 2, and then 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, and 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 272. What would I do with that 272? Divide it in half, and that would give me 136. So that means B is 136. Isn't that kind of cool? Yeah, that's great. Do you think you'd be able to use a similar logic on 5? But notice that all 5 are the same. So remember, this is a 5-sided shape. This is 3 sides. So you're going to have to get creative with the way you work this out. But once you find this piece here, can't you find these pieces here? Okay, so I'll leave that to you. Let's keep looking. Anything on this bottom row that you're like, Mr. Reyes, like, help me out. 8? Okay. I was hoping you were going to ask for 7.
I was gonna ask. I was super.
What's the issue with 8?
What's the target?
I think 8 is really easy. You just don't realize it's easy. Because how many sides are on this one? 6. So could you take that total divided by 6? Boom, Jay's done. Now, what if this was all that I gave you? And then hopefully right now you're like, oh, I see. Right here. What if that was all you had? And this was also gone. What would you say that K is? What would you say about K? 38. What type of angles are those? Start with an A. Alternate interior angles, yep. So, that one's actually a fairly easy one. This one's kind of tricky. Now, how many sides is that shape? 5. Do you guys remember what a 5-sided? I think it's 540. And if we subtract out the 117 and the 108, we are left with 5, 1, 300. No, that's not right. That's not right. Did I do this right? Minus. Oh, divided by 3. Yeah, I did it right. So it would be 105 on each of these, yeah? Now here's the tricky part. How do I get H? I know this is 90. I know the whole thing will be 360. The one thing I don't know is right there. And this is the part that I think it makes this question tricky. I'm going to draw something for you, and you may be like, oh, Mr. Reyes, how was I supposed to know that? That's a circle. Circles are how many degrees? So would you be able to find the missing piece? $122, and then you can find your missing piece. That's good, huh? We are going to cross out 9. Don't worry about 9. And we're going to cross out 11. Don't worry about 11. Kids' first period were complaining about this one. Should I leave it on there? I'm probably going to give you one of these on your final. Let's put circle. Let's put circle. So, like, don't cross it out, but, like, try it. Try it. Challenge yourself. And then 13 and 14, these ones are kind of like backwards questions. I want you to notice what it says here. What does that say? How many what? Sides. So it tells you the answer, but it wants you to work backwards to figure out the number of sides, which is n. That's a little tricky. You got to go backwards, and you got to figure out what n is. Think you can do that? Yeah? Just remember that this is your formula, 180 n minus 2. This one is also backwards. The 13 is kind of a medium question. 14 is definitely going to be a spicy question. So just know you'll struggle more with 14 than you do 13. But with that, I'm all done. Do you guys have any questions? All right. Perfect.